What did we do to set out for the growth, and what perhaps are the three main initiatives that we had as a company to achieve that?
Yeah. I think it starts even a little bit before that, and I think to really describe that, or really to do it justice, I have to go back to 2022, and it was in the spring, kind of early summer 2022. COVID was starting to kind of get through the system. We were all back up and running, great to see, and dealing with kind of the after effects of COVID. But we thought, oh my gosh, what's going to happen in the autumn and the winter? Like, COVID's going to come back. It's a respiratory disease. We thought, oh my gosh, temporary cancellations, lost revenue, lost profit, et cetera, et cetera. We thought, well, because we can still clean, of course we can still clean. We have to remind customers and staff that we can still do our job. And so we came up with that little card. And we wanted that card to go to all the customers to remind them in the summertime, before they got COVID, that we could still come in and do the cleaning. And the reason that card for me was so important is because it was trying to think of what you were going to be going through. And that's kind of what we do now. And I think we've always done it to some extent, but we had to get really good at it at COVID, which is trying to understand what's the environment that you're going to be faced with. What are the things that the challenges you're going to have? What are the things that are going to hold you back from making more money? As Pam said, it's how much money you make. So that is really important. So then to your question, what did we do?
So we went back before 2023.
Yeah. So what in 2023, the year kind of started in October, and we thought, okay, well, what does the year look like? And we thought, well, first of all, we know the national living wage is increasing, and we want you to be able to put through price increases to be able to take advantage of it, right? Because the government does a lot of lifting for us with the national living wage. They tell everybody wages are increasing, so we don't have to go to customers and tell them, although we do, but they're doing a lot of that lifting. So we thought, after a couple of years of pretty significant price increases, we have to put another one through, but we have to do it. So we thought, well, national living wage, let's try to make sure that we can put those price increases through, so you can make more money and that staff make the national living wage, of course. But let's do so in a way that we don't experience many customer cancellations. Because we thought after 2 years of pretty significant increases, maybe we would see an increase in cancellation. So we thought, let's heavy up communication in the first part of the year. Let's take advantage of all those customers who are searching for Maid service, because the industry had grown so much. So let's make sure that we have fewer cancellations, increase prices, and add more customers. And so that's kind of how the year started, what we thought in October, and that's why we came up with some customer communication at the beginning of the year. We came up with the booster campaign, and then we did some more investment in Facebook and Indeed through to be able to get more staff.
And it was a sort of two-sided preparation, wasn't it? Because it's what we knew and what we felt was going to happen in the economy, but it was also, we wanted to really anticipate what franchise owners were going to be feeling too. So we really wanted to feel, what would a franchise owner be actually thinking now? So we really had to put ourselves in your shoes to think about, what would be most important in your mind. So it was a combination, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is give you more tools or better tools to be able to operate your business. And so in 2023, and 2022, 2021, even through COVID, like, look at some of the things that we've done with, whether it's the best employer branding that we did to be able to attract more staff, whether it's the home safe cleaning and the trademark that we did. All of those things are done to be able to give you more tools to better operate your business. And it's fundamental to what Pam talks about and what Jim talks about, which is really trying to help you make your business better.
There's so many franchise owners to get these 110 milestones. What do you think is the factors that have led to this?
Yeah, let's face it. First of all, it's you. It's you. When you're motivated to grow your business, you grow your business. And so I think the success that we've achieved is, first of all, it starts and ends with what you're doing.
Jim had an expression, didn't he?
Yeah, Jim had a lot of the expressions I have, and maybe even the sayings, come from either Jim, Pam, or franchise owners. And I like Jim's saying is, businesses aren't successful, people are. And that's it. We've got a good business model, just like we've got the great race car in F1, but it's the driver that makes that race car run the best, and you're the best drivers.
And you also likened it when we chatted before this. We're piloting a great ship here, captaining a great ship. And there's this huge, strong wind behind us now. That's what we feel now, isn't it? And it's such a great environment.
It is.
Take us through what the YouGov survey said and what the new landscape looked like for post-COVID.
We do the YouGov survey to find out brand awareness, like how well known is Molly Maid in all the markets. But then we also do research to be able to identify what's the approximate size of the market. And so pre-COVID, we found that usually, and I'll just kind of round the numbers out, but usually about 10% of the population buys Maid service, but about 90% of that is bought with private cleaners, right? £10 per hour, £12 per hour, whatever it is. I thought coming out of COVID, so let's say that gives them 90% of the market, gives us 10%. I thought coming out of COVID, our market size might have increased from 10% to 25%. It was no, this is what I think it might be, just because of the change in cleaners. When we did YouGov research, we found that about a third of the people buying Maid service now are buying it from companies. We went from 10% to 32%. That's a huge figure. Got the numbers there. Market size went from about 3 billion to about 8.5 billion. That is, it's hard to get your mind around. So when I say that this is our US moment, it is our moment. We've got so much market potential out there, which is...
So 20 million turnover, 8 billion.
Yeah.
Right? We've got an opportunity here. A little bit about support to franchise owners. I mean, this is why we're here, right? We are in a privileged position to support our franchise owners develop some great businesses. But how would you define support? What's your definition of support?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I feel a real sense of responsibility that we do whatever we can to help you, and I think that comes from Jim and that comes from Pam. There's no getting around it. That's what we wake up to thinking is how do we help you? That's the most important thing. So.
If I can just share.
Yeah.
And there was a bizarre moment during COVID when we were almost taking turns of being in the office and sort of crossing in the car park from a distance. There was one day where you were in and I came in and we were on that crossing point. And I remember it was bizarre because I said, we were in the middle of our daily communications. If you remember, every day we were giving communication. I said, Kevin, I've never felt more focused in my life. There was a really weird buzz, but we were just on autopilot because we felt such a responsibility for you guys and your businesses. But that's because the support is what we do. That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
so you define it. I think there are two reasons, really.
Yeah, if I distill it down to really something that's understandable, at least we can all remember, we're helping you to manage your business. And we want to make it easier for you to manage that business, and we're helping you to grow your business. And we figure if we can help, if it's easier to manage, then it's going to be easier to grow it. So if that's kind of as a summary point, and then everything kind of goes from there. If we can do those two things, then it's a job done.
So what were some of those initiatives that we created to make it easier to manage, and some of those things we did over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think the amount of change we've gone through in the last 2 years is quite astounding. So we could start with Home Safe. That trademark was done to be able to communicate to staff members, first of all, that they could do the job safely, and then customers that they could trust us into their home. It kind of followed that logic. Then there was Best Employer. I love Best Employer. I remember somebody said, well, who says you're the best employer, Kevin? And I said, well, we do. Well, what do we need? We don't need somebody else to tell us we're good employers. We are the best employers. And somebody said, well, don't you feel like you're the best employer? And I think the franchise owner said, well, I'm pretty good. I don't know if I'm the best. We said, you're the best. So those are tools that we're trying to give you that make a difference in the market. They make it more competitive, whether it's to get customers or whether it's to get staff.
I'm just going back to that Best Employer. So we're very proud of that. But it was Best Employer, Home Safe, other initiatives about the community.
Yeah, I love that Community Heroes. Kinika came up with Community Heroes. I just think it's fabulous. We used to have, we still do, that Community Relations Rebate Program. And that sounds very logical, doesn't it? But it doesn't tell what it really does. We have heroes in the community, and they're what you do in your area. You provide great jobs to people, valuable jobs to people who maybe would be on benefits or wouldn't have a job. You do great jobs for your customers who really value the service and change their life. We are heroes, and I think calling it community heroes is a different way to think about it in terms of what we're trying to convey. And all of those things are designed to be able to help you to compete, but also give us better stories to tell on social media.
Yeah.
And I remember talking with Sandra about social media. This is kind of pre-COVID, because let's face it, my glass was not half empty; it was completely empty on social media. But I remember talking with Sandra, coming out of COVID, and she said, "Oh, Kevin, we definitely have to get an Instagram page." I said, "Oh, trust me, Sandra, we're definitely going to have one." But all those things are designed to build us to be able to tell stories to customers and staff members about why they should be choosing Molly Maid.